I the jerk for snoozing a stranger's phone alarm? I, a 27-year-old female, was at a dinner and a show theater with my family and friends this past Christmas. I had invited everyone to come as I had the opportunity to work on some of the costumes for the show that night. We were seated at a big table by the stage. The seating for the theater is all tables and chairs, and there are 3 levels of floor space for the tables that descend as you get closer to the stage. I was sitting at the back of our table, so my head was level with the table on the level above us. The food is served buffet style, and the play starts after dessert has begun. As we were starting to eat our food, an alarm started to go off next to my ear. The couple that was sitting at the table above me was away getting their food. I waited for about 2 minutes, but it was loud and positioned so that it was blaring at me. I saw that the phone was an iPhone, and so I tapped the little snooze button so that the alarm would stop, but I, and everyone around us, wouldn't have to keep hearing the alarm. I planned on telling the couple what happened as soon as they returned with their food, as I assumed it was most likely a medication reminder. When I did this, my mother, who was at the other end of the table, was astonished and scolded me harshly for touching someone else's possession. I tried to say that I only snoozed it and that it had been blaring in my ear, but she told me that it's never acceptable to handle something that I know belongs to someone else. She said, "What if that alarm was for an important medication?" I replied, "I only snoozed it and I am going to let them know as soon as they return." She continued to scold me in front of my friends and future sister-in-law for my behavior. When the people returned, I told them what I had done, politely apologizing for snoozing the alarm, and they thanked me and apologized as well for leaving the phone on the table. They didn't seem upset at all that I touched the phone. This incident has come up a few times in conversation since. My mother will not back down or apologize to me for scolding me and embarrassing me in front of my friends and family. Most people that I have told are on my side, but some agree with my mother that it's never appropriate to touch someone else's property without permission. I really feel that because the phone was causing a significant disturbance to me, it was okay to snooze the alarm, but maybe I'm wrong. So am I the asshole? Your actions don't make you a jerk. Your mom needs to stop getting offended on other people's behalf. If someone's phone goes off in a place like that, it's just common courtesy to turn it off to avoid disturbing others. Plus, the people who owned the phone weren't upset at all, so it's really not a big deal. Am I the jerk for not telling my friend what her crush said about her? So I have this friend. Let's call her Mango. Mango has a crush on a boy named Pineapple. She has liked him for a long time. Although it is currently summer, she still likes him. She says she is starting to lose interest in him, but I'm not really sure because she has liked him since October 2023. One day, she asks me to text Pineapple on TikTok because she wants to know what he thinks about her. I ask him, and he says that she is a smart friend, but can be annoying sometimes. I tell her, and immediately, I can tell she gets upset by the last part he included. Even though it is obvious she is upset, she just says, "Oh, okay," because she usually hides her feelings when stuff like this happens to her. I honestly feel bad for her, and she asked me to text him more because when she texts him, he leaves her on seen or delivered. I decide to get his contact on Discord and Roblox. I play Roblox with him. He is nice, I guess. Just the average high school boy. Another day, she tells me to ask him what he thinks his GPA will be because they didn't get report cards yet. I text him, and immediately he asks me, "Did Mango ask you to ask me that?" I get kind of scared and shocked because I'm like, "How do you know?" He then shows me a screenshot that she already asked him on TikTok, and he just left her on seen. That's probably why she asked me to do it. I'm kind of shocked, and I don't really know how to feel because he tells me that he doesn't really like her because all she talks about is school and food, which is boring to him because he doesn't always want to talk about that. I tell him I understand, but I don't tell Mango because I know she is going to get upset, and I'm scared that she might ask him if he really said that. A few weeks ago, she tells me to tell him that she doesn't like him anymore. She still does, and yes, he did know she liked him. She just wants to see if he thinks she doesn't like him. Maybe he might be nicer. The answer is no, he just doesn't change. When I told him, he replied with, "Thank God." I decide to tell her because at that point, she was pleading for the answer. I noticed though when I tell her the answer and it's kind of a bad one like this example, she only replies with, "Oh, okay," but when the response is good or something, she replies with something like, "OMG, really?" I know there's more to tell her, but I really don't know if I should because she is just going to get upset again and again. There are no jerks here, OP. You're all teenagers, and it's natural to struggle with these things. The sooner she learns there's more to enjoy in life than him, the better. It won't be easy, but she needs to hear it. Am I the jerk for refusing to save food that I buy for my sibling? I am the second youngest in my family. I have 2 sisters and a brother, Jesse, who is 23 years old, Caden, who is 21 years old, and Luna, who is 14 years old. This post is about Luna. We are the only 2 siblings still living at home, and our parents provide us with food and necessities. However, they never buy chocolate or candies because they are not big fans of them. We can buy our own treats with our own money once we are old enough to earn some, which is what I do. My parents also have a very bland palate. They do not like curries or stir-fries with sauce and avoid anything spicy altogether. I love these foods, so sometimes I buy ingredients to make curry or spicy chicken for myself. Luna is the baby of the family, and our parents spoiled her more than the rest of us. They let her get away with being a brat to people, so she is not someone I enjoy being around, and neither do our older siblings. She always wants to tell us what to do and demands things. One time, my parents were away at a wedding and Jesse and Caden came home to babysit. This meant they could stay at the house, eat for free because our parents paid for it, and make sure Luna and I were okay. This was last year, and Luna screamed so loudly that the neighbor came out to check on us, all because she wanted pizza while we wanted ramen. Luna said we could not have ramen and insisted we all get pizza. She tried taking the money out of Jesse's hand. She tried to break Jesse and Caden's phones. She even screamed at the neighbor, claiming we would not let her get pizza. Caden found a frozen pizza, and Luna screamed more because it was not what she wanted. Another time, Caden was home from college, and she demanded he take her to her friend's house because mom and dad were not home. She pulled him out of bed and threatened to break his laptop. She is always telling me to do things for her and screaming when I say no. I never buy her anything with the money I earn because I do not feel she deserves it. Lately, she has been getting jealous of the food I buy for myself and has told me to save some for her. I told her no. She said I cannot tell her no, and I responded that I can and I did and I will do it again. She screamed in my face and demanded I give her some of my food. I said no because she already has food in the fridge. She ran and told our parents, and as usual, they backed her and told me I should be willing to share. I told them I would share when she treats me better and improves her attitude. Now my parents and Luna are angry. Luna called me a jerk, and my parents said I was not being generous like they taught me to be. Am I the asshole? You acted correctly. Luna needs to understand that yelling doesn't always get her what she wants, or she's in for a rude awakening someday. It sounds like your parents are raising a future headache for themselves. Teaching her that it's okay to yell and threaten people is definitely setting her up for disaster. Am I the jerk for exposing my sibling for being a liar? They agreed to simple rules and then slowly broke them, costing me more money. I am a 31-year-old female, and I work as a registered nurse. I work 4 days and then I am off. I bought my home in 2018, and I am currently single. Due to constantly waking up late and not feeling like going to work, my 29-year-old sister lost her job. My 29-year-old brother-in-law could not afford to pay the rent, bills, and for what their 1-year-old child needs. They were evicted from their house. Given the rising cost of living, everyone else did not have room for an extra 3 people except for me. Before they moved in, I had rules set in place in writing. They needed to pay $500 for rent and bills, due on the 1st of every month, since it was an extra 3 people. From Sunday night through Wednesday, they were asked to be quiet, as I work those days. If they made a mess, they were to clean it up and help clean the yard and around the house. They were allowed to smoke weed, but not in the house. Everything was going well for the first few months. Since breaking up with my boyfriend, it was nice having someone to talk to. Then, things slowly started going downhill. My niece spilled juice on the floor and it was not mopped up. Dishes were left in the sink, food was left out, dirty clothes and deliveries were left in the living room, and things were broken and denied. Their room and bathroom were dirty. My sister claimed she was too tired because she did find another job. They tried leaving my niece with me after I got off a 12-hour shift. When I agreed to watch her for only an hour, it turned into 8 hours. Then, they could not afford the rent. They ate all of my food and did not replace anything. Things hit the fan when my electric bill was $800. My sister's response was, "What? Are we supposed to sweat to death?" I was aware they were running the air conditioning all day. They refused to pay more than the agreed $500. I told them I would not charge them rent for the next month, but I wanted them out. My sister got mad and they moved out, but she went around telling everyone who would listen that I heartlessly threw them out. I received a lot of backlash from family and friends. However, I am petty, and the good thing about being a nurse is I do not have time to talk on the phone. So I posted on Facebook and Instagram all of the text messages and photos of what they did to my house. The texts clearly showed them agreeing they owed me rent money. They left my house a mess. There was mold in the bathroom they were using. I was charging them only $500 and not the $1,500 they were claiming. My sister and brother-in-law were told off by our parents, and now she is upset that I exposed them like that. You're definitely not the asshole. You set clear and reasonable rules, and your sister and brother-in-law chose to disregard them. You tried helping your sister and family, and she thanked you by telling lies about you and leaving your home a mess. If your sister hadn't lied about you online and attempted to wreck your reputation with your friends and family, you wouldn't have had to expose her, would you? Am I the jerk for asking my partner to change out of his dirty, grease-caked pants before sitting in my car? So my boyfriend, who is 27 years old, works at a chicken restaurant and often works the deep fryer. As a result, his work pants are often very dirty, literally caked in deep fryer grease and other substances. I often give him rides to and from his work because he does not have his driver's license. The passenger seat of my car keeps getting stains, and I am trying to keep it clean, especially now that I am planning to trade the car in some time in the next year. In the past, I have asked him to change into cleaner pants before getting into my car when I pick him up from work. He usually does this with no issue. I offered to give him a ride to work this morning since it takes him about an hour to walk. As we were putting our boots on to leave, I noticed he was wearing his dirty grease-caked pants and asked him to change into cleaner ones before sitting in my car. He proceeded to freak out, saying that he does not have time to change back into his work pants when he gets to work without being late. I told him he would not be sitting on my car seats in those filthy pants. He still refused to change his pants and decided to walk to work instead, which would make him about 40 minutes late. We got into a screaming argument because I said, "Why are the only two options you wearing your dirty pants in my car or walking and being 40 minutes late? Why are you choosing to be 40 minutes late instead of simply choosing to change your pants and maybe be a couple minutes late?" He screamed about me choosing my car seats over him being at work on time. I was going to give him a ride. I only wanted him to wear cleaner pants while he was sitting in my car. He left and walked and sent me the following texts. "This is fucking ridiculous. Because of your fucking bullshit, I'm late again. This is literally the most fucked up thing you've done. Don't fucking text me back. Don't talk to me when you get home. Just leave me the fuck alone tonight and do whatever the fuck you want. I can't believe you chose a fucking car seat over getting me to my job. I would never fucking do that to you if I had a car, but you don't seem to give a shit when it's important to me. I'm not doing anything for you for a while. Wake yourself up. Am I the jerk? You are not the one to blame. He was immature, choosing anger and fights instead of rationality. Maybe keep a towel or seat cover on the passenger seat if you plan to keep helping him out. If he gets upset about that, then he's a child and it could be a pattern in his behavior. Another solution would be to put an old towel on the seat, but if this offends him, it might be time to move on. Am I the jerk for announcing my sister's pregnancy before she got the chance? My sister, Ella, who is 28 years old, has a history of making everything about her and playing the victim when she gets called out. She is technically our half-sister because my mother had an affair. I do not care about Ella being an affair baby because it was not her fault, and our parents are still married, so we were not raised as half-siblings. What she does makes me resent her. For example, at our youngest sibling's graduation, she announced her engagement. She made 3 of my milestone events about health scares or breakups that she did not care about the next day. At my brother's wedding, she brought her biological father, without any heads up, and spent the whole day trying to get our father, mother, and biological father, our dad's ex-best friend, to talk. Even at our grandmother's funeral, she caused issues. I am getting married in mid-July, and my brother told me that my brother-in-law, while drunk, let it slip on Father's Day that Ella is pregnant. I knew she would announce it at my wedding and probably do some big reveal too. So I went on social media and said, "Congratulations, Ella and brother-in-law, on the baby news. Can't wait for your gender reveal when you find out on the 2nd of July, and then I turned off my phone. Our mother and Ella were extremely upset that I took this special moment away from her and said I had no right to announce anyone's pregnancy. I simply said I knew she would do it at my wedding, so I got there before she did. Then I asked Ella how it feels for someone to take a special moment away from her. Ella tried to deny and defend herself, but my brother's wife started screaming about things Ella had done to her, followed by our youngest sister. It ended with Ella having a panic attack. Our parents want us to make up, but Ella says she wants an apology first before she will even try to mend our relationship or let me be in her son's life. She also called me an asshole for assuming the worst in her. You are not the bad guy in this situation, but it might be a good idea to hire security for the wedding. There's a high chance she'll try to cause a scene or show up in white. If you don't apologize, she probably won't come, and you didn't even have to uninvite her. Brother-in-law has already been spreading the secret for 2 weeks, so it's not really a secret anymore. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.